almost didn't make it. I almost didn't last. Why does the week go by so slow, the weekend so fast? But luckily the days come to take my cares away. It's not Sunday, Monday, or Thursday. That's right, it's Friday. Friday. Tonight I'll party with my friends. Friday. Friday. Today I know the weekend. So I'll get out of bed and be to work on time. I'll give the state of the company the next 2 days of mine. And when my day's over and the final work hour's passed, I'll go home, have a shot of Cuervo to the boss who can kiss my Friday. Friday. Tonight I'll party with my friends. Friday. Friday. Today I know the weekends. Friday. Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday, brother. Enjoy yourselves, brother. All right, that's going to get real old real fast, brother. Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan, brother. Talk more about that, brother. Get to Doc's Racing Report, brother. Bad news having music, brother. All sorts of other stuff, brother. Got a text from Nikki. She said, thank you for playing Nookie by Limp Bizkit. I was going to request it yesterday, but it got too late in the morning when I turned on the app and started work. It was the first song. It was very much needed to start my day. Brother. Thank you, Nikki. Appreciate it. I don't know if I could do the brother thing all day long. I don't know. Listening to Ozzy tunes earlier this week all morning long was fine. I don't know if I could do the brother thing. I don't know. Don't stop, brother. I already got a text. Listen here, brother. I am an unapologetic. I don't care that he was a bad human being. I love Hulk Hogan. Terry Bollea, whole different story. I can separate the two. You just, if you don't know, you don't know. I don't know what to tell you, brother. But I did promise on Facebook yesterday that I would end every phrase, every sentence this morning with brother in honor of the late, great Hulk Hogan, who passed away yesterday at the age of 71. More on that throughout the morning. As I mentioned, lots of other stuff to get to. If you want to get in touch with me, rockmornings.com. Ogre already texting and says, as already, too much, brother. LOL. It was his thing, man. It was his thing. So we'll get to that. As I mentioned, all sorts of other stuff. And rockmornings.com if you want to get in touch with me, brother.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
Dude.
I am a real American.
Oh.
Fight for what's right. Fight for your life.
I don't know why. I think I'm going to need some therapy on this one, but it feels more impactful than Ozzy in a weird way. Maybe because I was such a young child when Hogan was important to me. Bad family life, abusive father, would kick the crap out of me, put cigarettes out on me, all that stuff, all the things that you see and hear about. I lived through all of it. And Hogan was a superhero, man. He was. He was larger than life. And when you're a kid and you're looking for something positive, a role model, he was there, man. Saturdays and Sundays, the cartoons, the wrestling, all that stuff. ESPN actually dug up his WWE debut all the way back in 1979 as we celebrate the life and times of Hulk Hogan, who passed away yesterday at the age of 71. Brother.
Making his first appearance in this arena from Venice Beach, California, weighing 320 pounds, ladies and gentlemen, Hulk Hogan.
Look at that. He is a Hulk. Look at that. 320 pounds of him. Here we go.
And the winner, the incredible Hulk Hogan.
Just days after we lost Malcolm-Jamal Warner and Ozzy, On the very same day that musician Chuck Mangione died, we lost Hulk Hogan at the age of 71. Medical personnel sent to his home in Clearwater, Florida to treat for a cardiac arrest. He ended up at a nearby hospital where he was pronounced dead. Hogan, I don't care what you think or what you say, he is, always was, and always will be the biggest wrestling star of all time. That's not to say he's the best wrestler. That's not to say that he's the most popular, but he was the most famous. And without his big, broad shoulders, WWE might not be where it is today. And, of course, he made his hay talking about saying his prayers and doing his vitamins and loving your country and all that crap.
Train, say your prayers, eat your vitamins. Be true to yourself, true to your country. Be a real American.
Brother. And we believed it. We bought in hook, line, and sinker. Of course we did. We were kids. It was great. It was wonderful. He was the ultimate good guy. He took wrestling from what it was, the territorial thing, along with Vince McMahon's guidance, into the national spotlight and carried it for the first several years. And then after WrestleMania 3, it kind of took off on its own, and it didn't really need Hulk. I mean, he was still there, obviously, but once he picked up Andre the Giant and body slammed him at the Pontiac Silverdome in front of 80,000 people, it was on and popping. The build-up to that, too, as a kid is what I remember the most because, you know, this is obviously way back in the day, and Piper's Pit was the big interview section of the show when you would watch wrestling, and Hogan would come out on Piper's Pit, and then all of a sudden, here comes Bobby Heenan with Andre the Giant, who was Hogan's BFF.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome the heavyweight champion of the world, Hulk Hogan. My man is here.
I'm impressed, and I don't impress easy. Now, for this discussion, may I present 15 years undefeated, the 8th wonder of the world, 7'4", 500 pounds, Andre, the Giant. Wait, what's going on here? Hold on, man. What are you doing with him? You guys aren't together. Come on, man. Andre, what are you doing here with Heenan?
Look at me when I'm talking to you. I'm here for one reason, to challenge you for a world championship match in the WrestleMania.
Andre, please, no, it's not happening. We're friends. We're friends, Andre, please.
Are you or are you not going to fight him at WrestleMania 3 for the World Heavyweight Championship? Yes or no?
Oh, man. Hogan, of course, telling Piper he was going to fight him, and he did. And Andre did the job. He put him over.
Look at this. He's I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I'm dropping a big leg. Over for the cover.
He got it. Unbelievable.
Yeah, Hogan, the biggest star in the history of professional wrestling, instrumental in making it a multi-billion-dollar industry that it is today. Brother. Just got a text from Jim, said he was the face of wrestling for many years. It's been a rough week for my childhood. Yeah, jump on the train. One of the most memorable things was about a year after Hogan beat Andre at WrestleMania. I remember this vividly because I was watching it live on Saturday night's main event, and I couldn't believe it. It was one of the first times that wrestling pulled the old switcheroo on me, right? It had always been good guys and bad guys, and you'd occasionally see a good guy, switch it up on his tag team partner or something like that. But this was groundbreaking.
Right on top of him.
He's on it.
We got 2. That's it.
He got him. He got him. He got him.
No, he didn't.
The referee counted 3. We've got a new world champion.
No, we don't either.
I told it, McMahon. I told you. I told the world that the Giant would win it.
Andre the Giant beats Hogan with the help of a second Dave Hebner. Any wrestling fan around my age will remember that vividly when there was 2 Dave Hebners because he had a twin. My mom actually sat next to one of them on a flight one time and got his autograph for me. But that was about a year after. And, of course, then he had legendary feuds with Roddy Piper, Randy the Macho Man Savage.
If you want to come at me man to man for the belt, I would beat you 1, 2, 3. That would be okay. Try and talk some sense into this guy, man. Try and talk some sense into me. Oh, big time. Oh, God. Want to be a champion? Want to feel what the madness is all about? Get out of the way.
Yeah. Hogan, Macho Man, the whole, where is Hogan's hand on the back of Miss Elizabeth as Randy Macho Man hoists her onto his shoulders? That turned into a whole thing, and then, of course, they duked it out. Hogan would go on to make movies for a little bit, eventually resurfacing in the WCW as the third member of the NWO. That was a huge moment for wrestling.
Hulk Hogan's here! Hulk Hogan is in the building! You're damn right he is! Go get him, Hulkster! Yeah, but whose side is he on? What are you talking about? Whose side is he on? What are you talking about? Yes, sir! Get him, Hogan! Go get him, baby! Come on and get some of this now. Who's bad now, boys? Hulk Hogan arrived. Hulk. What is he doing? Oh, my God. Is he the third man? He's the third man. What the hell is going on here? Hulk Hogan has betrayed WCW. He is the third man. Look at this picture. Oh, my God. What the hell is going on? Oh, my God.
What in the world are you thinking?
Well, the first thing you gotta realize, brother, is this right here is the future of wrestling. You can call this the new world order of wrestling, brother.
Long before Chappelle came along and had frat boys going, what? Okay. Yeah. We were all doing 2 sweets and NWO for life. Hogan's legacy, man, in wrestling. It's a thing. It's real. It's big. It's huge. It's massive. So many huge memories. Saw him live once at a Saturday night main event at the Worcester Palladium many years ago. Never made it to a pay-per-view. Never made it to a big event, but saw him live that one time, and yeah, had his shirt, all the stuff, and watched him every Saturday. Brother. So we'll continue to celebrate the life and times of the late, great Hulk Hogan, who passed away yesterday at the age of 71 years young. And speaking of his time with the NWO, going to veer off the programming a little bit here with some Voodoo Child.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
This has been a rough week for those of us who came of age in the 80s. Malcolm-Jamal Warner, of course, Ozzy Osbourne, and today, Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon created sports entertainment. There's a reason that Netflix and Peacock and USA Network are bringing our shows on a weekly basis because of what they created back in the 1980s, taking this small regional promotion and turning it into this global juggernaut. There are millions and millions of people my age and your age as well who would not be professional wrestling fans today if it wasn't for the immortal Hulk Hogan. He epitomized what it was to be a superstar. The bandana, the blonde hair, the 24-inch pythons, the great shape, preaching to the children to say their prayers and take their vitamins. He was larger than life. He was Terry Bollea turned up to number 10. And in the 1980s, he was probably the most famous person on the planet. Anywhere you went, you would hear the name Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, I mean, he was up there. Michael Cole of the WWE talking about Hogan's impact, his career in the WWE before, obviously, his life started to go kind of sideways. Eventually having to retire, had a ton of surgeries. He was talking about his injuries and his surgeries with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Went in for 1 back surgery, and it turned into having 9 back surgeries. So, I was still wrestling, but as soon as they cut on my back, it was game over. I went to a place called Laser Spine. They caught me 6 times, and they basically took me out of the game. They cut so much bone away, and things went awry. Well, after they told my new wife, Jennifer, I'd never walk again after the 6th surgery, it took me 3 more 12-hour surgeries to get up on my feet and rolling again. I was down about a year and a half. But all that being said, I'm pretty darn cool. I can't wrestle again, but I'm really cool other than this darn arthritis is kicking in.
Yeah, Hogan really never tried to get back in the ring for an actual match. I mean, he always wanted to be out there and be a part of it. Obviously, one of the lasting memories that we've got was his recent appearance where he got booed in L.A. mercilessly by the fans. I don't think they'll boo him this time around. On Monday Night Raw, we'll see what happens next week. Probably, recognize his contributions and realize that, the arts and the human being behind it are sometimes two separate things, and you can appreciate the arts and still see the person for who they truly are, maybe. His life marred by all sorts of controversies, whether it was the sex tape with Bubba the Love Sponge's wife, the whole N-word thing, there was the divorce with his wife and all these, and his kid and the audio tapes of the jail phone calls. I mean, there's a lot to unpack with that box, and that's not surprising when you're talking about a super duper celebrity. But Hogan talking about losing everything, his millions of dollars, and having to kind of restart his life.
Everything is a fight for me. I lost my family. Financially, I got destroyed. Everything I ever saved, I lost because of a bunch of situations, Even though the divorce is over, it's like the gift that keeps on giving. Now I'm not a millionaire now, that's for sure.
Turned it around, though. The sex tape that was partially leaked by Gawker.com back in 2012, Hogan ended up winning a huge lawsuit against them that bankrupted Gawker.com.
Over 3 years of dealing with Gawker's games, they did everything they could to deter me. They were hoping that financially I wouldn't be able to stay in the game with them and I'd quit or tap out. I felt like I had this monster on my shoulders no matter where I went. When they read the verdict, it was just so overwhelming when I knew that we had won and people believed me. It was just, it was a moment. It was a moment.
More on the life and times of Hulk Hogan throughout the morning. Brother, just got a text from Cheryl who said, good thing it's Friday and this horrible week is over. Sadly, never saw Ozzy in concert. Hogan was in lacrosse wrestling a few times, if I remember correctly. We always sat in the front along the alley they came through, tried touching him as his arm as he went by, got elbowed in the nose by his security walking with him. Brother, don't be trying to touch the Hulkster, brother. Sorry to hear that, Cheryl, but Hulk Hogan dead at the age of 71. Brew Crew off yesterday. They're at home against the Marlins today for the first of 3 against Miami. That's a 3:10 first pitch, by the way, this afternoon. Kansas head coach Bill Self hospitalized yesterday after experiencing some concerning symptoms. Ended up having 2 stents inserted. Procedure went very well. He's expected to make a full recovery, said the school in a statement. He's in good spirits and expects to be released from the hospital soon. Back in 23, Bill Self missed the Big 12 and NCAA tournaments after being hospitalized because of chest tightness and balance concerns. Underwent a heart catheterization and had 2 stents placed for the treatment of a blocked artery. Self is 62, been the coach at Kansas since 03. He won 2 national championships, took the Jayhawks to 4 Final Fours, led Kansas to an NCAA record 14 consecutive Big 12 regular season championships between 04 and 2018, inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 2017, but it looks like maybe his career is possibly coming to an end with all these heart-related issues that he's been having over the last couple of years. Caitlin Clark, no timetable for her return onto the court, said the Indiana Fever yesterday. She underwent further medical evaluations this week to continue to work with the Fever medical team on her recovery and rehab. They said that the priority on her long-term health and well-being is the most important. No additional injuries or damage were discovered during the test, but obviously they want her to get some rest and come back as close to 100% as possible. Brother. And President Donald Trump directing members of his cabinet to develop a plan in the next 30 days that is aimed at preserving college sports opportunities and preventing college athletes from becoming professionals, according to an executive order that he signed yesterday. Trump's order setting out specific guidelines for preserving athletic scholarships based on an athletic department's annual revenue. Also declares that schools should not permit athletes to accept third-party pay-for-play payments. The order states that the Secretary of Education, Linda McMahon, should use future federal funding decisions, among other tools, to force schools to abide by the administration's policy. Trying to put an end to NIL? Is that what they're doing here? Sports on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Going to get to some Chevelle in just a couple minutes, brother. So don't go anywhere.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
Oh, you know who you are. You've been doing your daily action, putting lots of overtime. You need some time off satisfaction. Just think how tough it's been. You've been putting out all that labor. If you use your wit, you can get out quick and do yourself a favor. Friday in effect, and you're pretty beat, I bet. It's been one tough week, you've hit your peak, and you've earned your paycheck. But now this week is over, and it's a little fun you're seeking. Your grin is wide, and I know why. Look out, here come the weekend. You know what I'm saying? That weekend's gonna be a monster, y'all.
Ah, yes, the weekend is here, brother. And there's a lot happening. Busy, got a lot going on. Going to be running around like a chicken with my head cut off. That's okay. If you want to stick around, the air conditioning in your house, stay cool. It's going to be warm up into the 90s this weekend. You got plenty of stuff to watch, starting with Happy Gilmore 2, today on Netflix.
My name is Happy Gilmore. 30 years ago, I decided to give golf a try. But even when you're at the top of your game, you can always shank one.
Let them see the happy I fell in love with.
Happy Gilmore is breaking in yet another caddy he just met.
Happy Gilmore didn't have things flowing on the first hole.
Oh, shut up! Happy Gilmore 2 on Netflix today. Adam Sandler back as Happy Gilmore, trying to make a comeback at golf in order to put his daughter through a prestigious ballet school that'll cost him $75,000 a year.
You're in big trouble, though, pal. I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast.
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast?
No.
No.
Brother. Today on Peacock, the streaming premiere of The Phoenician Scheme, starring Benicio del Toro.
At this moment, rescue workers are laboring to recover and identify the remains of Zsa Corda, international businessman, maverick in the fields of armaments and aviation, among the richest men in Europe. This was Corda's 6th recorded airplane crash. He is survived by 10 children, 9 boys, 1 nun, his daughter Liesl.
I've appointed you sole heir to my estate, which you may come into sooner rather than later.
Why? It's been 6 years since our last meeting.
I have my reasons.
Which are what?
My reasons? I'm not saying.
Benicio del Toro starring in The Phoenician Scheme, making its streaming premiere today on Peacock. His character survives an assassination attempt and brings his daughter into the shady family business. Also on the cast, Michael Cera, Tom Hanks, Bryan Cranston, ScarJo, Benedict Cumberbatch. It's directed by Wes Anderson. Over on HBO Max today, the streaming premiere of Death of a Unicorn, a horror comedy starring Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega as a father and daughter who accidentally kill a unicorn with their car. Then the dead unicorn's parents hunt them down and along with their friends to try to get revenge.
Unicorns used to be seen like these divine monsters because people fully believe that they could heal literally anything.
It's an opportunity for immortality. We have a moral imperative to harvest every last one.
Death of a Unicorn making its streaming premiere on HBO Max today. Also on HBO tonight, Billy Joel and So It Goes, Part 2. The documentary about the life and times of the piano man, Billy Joel. Billy Joel and So It Goes, Part 2 tonight on HBO. Meanwhile, on Nat Geo, NGC, or whatever that is. It Nat Geo? Is that NGC? Sunday night on NGC, the series premiere of Hurricane Katrina: Race Against Time, a 5-part documentary about one of the deadliest natural disasters in U.S. history ahead of its 20th anniversary.
If you're still hearing us and you haven't left yet, please leave. I hate to say this, but I just don't have enough body bags.
The calmness before a storm is deafening.
As Hurricane Katrina was approaching, we knew this was going to be a catastrophe.
I didn't want to leave because I didn't know what we was going to be coming back to. I just was praying.
People won't realize how big Katrina was.
It's too big to turn. It's gonna hit us.
It's not a normal hurricane. Something's wrong.
And my heart just sank. We have a breach in the levee.
We have rain inside the Superdome. I repeat, rain inside the dome.
In 3 minutes, it went from the ground to the roof.
Oof. Hurricane Katrina: Race Against Time on Sunday on NGC. Also on Discovery Channel on Sunday night, the series premiere of Naked and Afraid: Apocalypse. And Sunday night on CNN, Live Aid: When Rock and Roll Took Over the World, Part 3 of the 4-episode documentary for the 40th anniversary of Live Aid. If you want to get into a theater this weekend and eat some popcorn and check out a new movie, you're in luck because Fantastic Four: First Steps, rated PG-13, is in theaters.
Famous around the world, please welcome the Fantastic Four. Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, Human Torch.
I love you, Johnny.
And the Thing.
Hey, what time is it? Say the date.
That's not really something I say.
It's clobbering time.
That's just in the cartoon. Never late for Sunday dinner. Let's eat.
Hey, what time is it?
It's dinner time. Get inside.
I herald his beginning. I herald your end. I herald Galactus.
Oh, man. Fantastic Four: First Steps, rated PG-13. The third attempt at bringing the Fantastic Four to the big screen. There was, of course, the 2005 version, along with its sequel in 2007 that had Chris Evans as the Human Torch and Jessica Alba as his sister. The reboot in 2015 starred Michael B. Jordan as the Human Torch and Miles Teller as Mr. Fantastic. And now there's this one, which is the first to be officially considered part of the MCU. 1960s inspired parallel Earth. The Fantastic Four have to protect the planet from the world-devouring cosmic being Galactus. Silver Surfer in this one, played by Julia Garner. Pedro Pascal, of course, is Reed Richards. Vanessa Kirby, the Invisible Woman. Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things plays his brother, Johnny Storm. Robert Downey Jr. expected to show up as Victor Von Doom in the post-credits scene. However, the director says Dr. Doom is not part of this movie, so we'll see what happens. Also in theaters this weekend, rated R, House of Eden. A horror movie about 3 paranormal investigators who film their encounter with an ancient malevolent spirit in an abandoned house deep in the woods. And in limited release this weekend, rated R, Bambi: The Reckoning. This is another movie in the Winnie the Poohniverse. The people who made Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, these intellectual properties that no longer belong to anyone. Yeah, they're calling this the 4th movie in the so-called Poohniverse. In addition to the 2 Winnie the Pooh movies that have already been released, there was also a Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare that came out back in February. This one, Bambi, and the story of Bambi get turned on its head Now Bambi's a mutated deer who goes on a deadly rampage seeking revenge for the death of his mother.
We're visiting his dad's family.
The plan is to draw it out of the shadows.
You're bringing it here.
It's perfectly safe.
Evil Bambi. It's called Bambi the Reckoning. It's in limited release, so maybe check ahead if you want to go check out that rated R movie this weekend. Also, America needs Air Bud because Air Bud is coming back. Did you know how many movies have been in the Air Bud franchise? Do you have any clue? I didn't. I knew there was one. I think there was two. He played basketball in one, then he played soccer in another one. Wasn't that what happened? Well, Air Bud is coming back next summer with Air Bud Returns in theaters. There have been more than a dozen movies in the franchise, but only the original Air Bud from 97 and the first sequel, which was Air Bud Golden Receiver, ended up in theaters. The rest of them went straight to video. The new movie finds a 12-year-old kid discovering an old VHS tape of Air Bud and encounters a stray golden retriever whose name is Buddy, and you can figure out what happens in the rest of the new Air Bud movie that comes out next summer. Crazy. Doc's going to join us later on to talk racing. More on the life and times and death of Hulk Hogan, who passed away yesterday at the age of 71. And, of course, if you want to chime in on that, rockmornings.com. Here's Metallica.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That, of course, Disturbed, brother. Down with the sickness, brother. I said I was going to do it every time, but it did get to be a bit much 5 minutes into the show. Brother. Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. More on that a bit later on as we get through the rest of our Friday, get into the weekends. Going to talk racing with Doc just after 8 o'clock. And if you want to chime in, you can certainly text me or go to rockmornings.com for all of our contact info. Brandon said, can we just leave my childhood characters alone, please? LOL, come on. I hear you clucking, big chicken. It's been a rough week. Malcolm-Jamal Warner, Ozzy, and now Hulk Hogan passing away at the age of 71. Brother. Here's a sad story that has a nice silver lining to it. A mailman in Wausau, Wisconsin, delivering the ashes of Stoli, a German shepherd, to her grieving owner after the dog passed away from cancer back on the 4th of July. The emotional moment between the mailman and the dog's owner caught on the doorbell camera.
Thank you so much. Thank you for bringing her home. Oh, thank you.
Audio's not super great there, but the video is touching as the woman waits on the porch, on the step of the porch, and the mailman comes up with the box, and she breaks down into tears and gives him a hug and thanks him, and said that Stoli and the mailman had a very special relationship. Stoli barked at him every day unless she was on the porch, and then she would demand pets and belly rubs, and Stoli passed away on the 4th of July, and now she's got Stoli back. Probably going to put her ashes on the mantelpiece. Elsewhere in the good news, a mother's worst nightmare turning into an unexpected blessing when another mom, who was a total stranger, saved her 15-year-old son's life. Evan Tucker was the name of the kid on a baseball field when he suffered a cardiac arrest. The other mom knew CPR, hadn't used it in like decades, ran out onto the field and performed it for 8 minutes until the ambulance arrived, and it worked.
I guess I just thought that he had gotten hit by a ball, and I jumped up, but then I heard somebody say, like, he's having a seizure, so I took off running.
I learned CPR in high school when I was 17, and I've never had to use it in 40 years.
He would not be here if she had not stepped in. The entire ride in the ambulance, all I kept saying was, Jesus, I trust in you, just over and over and over. I had a peace about me because somehow I knew that he was going to be okay.
Evan Tucker tried other sports, including football, basketball, but always landed on baseball, said Samantha Tucker, his mom. It's always been interesting for him, and he's had a lot of fun doing it. Loves to watch him. She was there at the game, thought he got hit by a ball. Not the case. Not just a seizure either. Young baseball player down in the grass experiencing cardiac arrest. His heart stopped. Suddenly, a stranger dashing out onto the field. Seeing Evan turn blue, she started to perform CPR. Jeanette Wilmot is the woman's name. She was at the ballpark to watch her 11-year-old Phoenix try out for the summer league team. Saw Evan fall, got to him, performed CPR for about 8 minutes, and the ambulance finally arrived. Knees were rubbed raw as she hummed a familiar song. She said, "I kept humming Staying Alive." It's one of those little tricks they teach you when you learn CPR. Evan taken away in the ambulance, in a coma for several days, now making improvements, still recovering in the hospital. Been admitted to an inpatient rehab. He has since been able to walk without help and talk again. It'll be a long road ahead, but his mom said he's going to make it. And thanks to this woman, who now obviously is a beloved family friend, who ran out onto the field and saved this kid, performing CPR for 8 minutes. We've talked about that in the past. The importance of learning CPR, man. Just having that knowledge. Taking a class, even if you never have to use it, even if you're not going to go into the field of nursing or EMTs or being a doctor or any of that stuff, just having that knowledge in case you got to use it someday. Very important. Got music from Five Finger Death Punch coming up in just a bit. If you need something, you can get in touch with me. Visit rockmornings.com. Brother.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Start your day with Rock Mornings.
Let me tell you something, brother. He's always told you exactly what he thought, and he still does, brother. All you lowlifes, all you scumbags, all you drug dealers, and all you crooked politicians need to answer one question, brother. What you gonna do when Donald Trump and all the Trumpomaniacs run wild on you, brother?
Hogan showing up at the RNC earlier this year, ripping off his shirt, as he would always do. Not just a wrestler, also a television/movie star, I guess, if you will. Was in a bunch of movies. None of them were really all that successful. Rocky III. Played Thunder Lips, obviously. He was in No Holds Barred, essentially playing a version of himself. Had a cameo as Hulk Hogan in Gremlins 2, The New Batch. He also starred in Suburban Commando and Mr. Nanny. He was in that TV show Thunder in Paradise, which I think cranked out a couple of direct-to-DVD movies. Santa with Muscles, Muppets from Space, Three Ninjas, High Noon at Mega Mountain. TV credits, of course, the Hulk Hogan Rockin' Wrestling, Thunder in Paradise, as I mentioned. Baywatch, he played himself on an episode of Baywatch. He was on Suddenly Susan, in an episode of Walker, Texas Ranger, Robot Chicken, his daughter's show, Brooke Knows Best, bunch of other stuff. But yeah, a career that's spanned many years, not just in the wrestling ring, but also in movies and television shows. He also sang a air conditioning jingle for a Japanese company back in 1991.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday comes again. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday comes again.
綺麗な空気。体には細長が気持ちいいんです。日立のビッグフロー、ウェルネス。
Not quite sure what's going on there, how much he got paid, but I'm sure he got paid well to sing a song in the background of a Japanese air conditioning commercial back in the early 90s. Hey, Brian Johnson, who's the lead singer of AC/DC, did a song for Hoover, the vacuum cleaners. If he can do it, then Hogan can do it. Sometimes you got to diversify, right? You got to find different ways to pad that portfolio.
The new high-powered compact from Hoover, it's a beautiful mover. The new compact does more than beat. It also cleans, it also sweeps, and brushes right to the edge. Right to the edge. Changing a bag as easy as ABC. The new high-powered compact from Hoover, it's a beautiful mover.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene talking about the life and times of Hulk Hogan, who passed away at the age of 71. Brother. Lots of tributes, of course, coming out. Christopher Lloyd, who starred with Hulk Hogan in Suburban Commando, posted a picture of their movie poster on his Twitter account saying, "Rest in peace, Hulk." Bubba the Love Sponge, who obviously Hogan had a very contentious relationship with, said that he was saddened that he could never apologize to Hogan and mend the rift between them. Donald Trump, the president, called the wrestling icon a great friend and hailed his massive cultural impact over the years. The Rock called Hogan his childhood hero, a lengthy post about getting a headband and then doing the job for him to put him over. In 2002, the match was to decide who would go down in history as the greatest of all time. When you kick out of my rock bottom finisher, just listen and feel that crowd go electric. Lots of wrestlers, too. Obviously offering up a lot of stories and memories about their time in the ring with Hogan. Now dead at the age of 71. I haven't seen yet what Booker T wrote, but I know he said this one time.
We want the gold, sucker. Hulk Hogan, we coming for you.
Oops. Oops. That's okay. It happens. It's Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Hit up the website if you want to get in touch. You can also download the 95.7 The Rock app or the 92.9 The X app, and you can send in voicemails or images, videos as well if you want to get in touch with us that way. Let us know what you're up to this weekend. Maybe you're going to go back and watch some of the early WrestleManias, relive a little bit of the history of Hulk Hogan, who's now dead at the age of 71. Brother.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find the daily podcast at rockmornings.com.
Lincoln Park on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Brother. NFL. Next Thursday, Hall of Fame game. Oh, yeah, it's coming. We're getting there. And then the regular season training camps are in session. Looking forward to it, baby. Looking forward to it. Justin Fields carted off practice yesterday with a dislocated right toe. They made it sound like he had torn his ACL when the first report started to trickle out, but it wasn't that bad, apparently. New York Jets quarterback avoided a serious injury. Fields expected to be ready for week 1 against the Steelers. Jets said Fields would not miss significant time. ESPN is nearing a deal with the NFL to acquire NFL media. That would include ESPN landing the content for the NFL Network as well as NFL Red Zone. If completed, ESPN plans to boast the new package as part of its next era branding. As the network launches a new direct-to-consumer streaming product this fall, the potential deal also comes with ESPN's first Super Bowl broadcast in 2027. So things are popping over there at ESPN when it comes to the NFL. Finally getting into the NFL game. I mean, they've had, obviously some games, but in terms of real content, real NFL, looks like they're finally going to get it. Brew Crew off yesterday. They're at home against the Marlins today. 3:10 first pitch, the first of 3 against Miami. Nathaniel Hackett spent 3 seasons as the team's offensive coordinator before he became the Denver Broncos coach for 1 year and then the Jets OC for the previous 2 years. Has now been rehired by the Packers as a consultant/analyst. Head coach Matt LaFleur said Hackett will work with the defense, but will bring an offensive perspective to the other side of the ball. And the NCAA president, Charlie Baker, said yesterday that if the required association governance committees decide to expand the D1 men and women's basketball tournaments, it's unlikely that it'll be accomplished for the upcoming season. D1 basketball committee scheduled to meet next week. Been long-running discussions about expanding tournaments to 72 or 76 games from the current 68. He said, just logistics, it's a lot of airplanes in a very short period of time. So, yeah, it may take a little bit longer to get that figured out. Don't think it ain't going to happen, but it is. At some point, they're going to expand March Madness to 72 or maybe 76 teams, but probably not next season, brother. It's Rock Mornings with Brian and Jean. She's on vacation. Key West should be back on Monday. Looking forward to hearing all about it. I texted her the other day, asked her if she had experienced any kind of travel issues. She said a little bit. It'll be fun to hear about that. See what happened on her trip. Also, going to talk racing with Doc just after 8 o'clock. And get to bad news, happy music as well, brother. I got a text from my guy Max, who apparently not very happy that I'm memorializing Hulk Hogan, saying, don't forget, Hogan was a union-busting piece of crap. Probably doesn't make for good radio, but that's the most impactful thing he ever did. I told Max that I had already talked about trying to separate Hulk Hogan as a character from Terry Bollea, the human being. And he said, yeah, but it's a separation, not forgiveness. You don't forgive Hitler because he painted a couple of canvases. And I don't know about you, dude, but those are two way different things. Hogan and Hitler. I don't know what the hell you're trying to talk about, bro, but do you, I guess. I get it. You hate his guts. That's fine. You're entitled to that opinion. I'm not. Yeah. Thanks, though, Max. I appreciate it. Love you, buddy. Sunshine today with a high near 90. More of the same tomorrow, up into the 90s on Sunday, and then some showers and thunderstorms return on Monday with a high of 91. Looking at temps hopefully dropping back down to the low 80s by Tuesday of next week. Daughtry coming up in just a couple of minutes. Brother.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Weekdays, 6 to 9.
Whoa, chili wiener, I hope you won't give me gas tonight. Oh no, chili wieners, you're the cause of my pants being tight.
It is National Chili Dog Day, brother. So eat a chili dog, brother.
Sucking on a chili dog, 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 chili dog, sucking on a chili dog, sucking on a dog, sucking on a chili dog, sucking on chili dog, sucking on a dog, sucking on a chili dog.
All right, apparently I got misinformation. Somebody gave me misinformation. I gave me misinformation. It's next Thursday. Next Thursday is National Chili Dog Day, the final Thursday of the month. My bad. A little early. I was jumping the gun there on the chili dog, brother. I was excited about eating some chili dogs, brother. Today is National Drowning Prevention Day. National Hire a Veteran Day. Super important, hire veterans. National Merry-Go-Round Day and National Wine and Cheese Day. Chili Dog Day happens to be next Thursday, the last Thursday in July. My apologies for being too excited for National Chili Dog Day, brother. Got a text from Brenda. Said, too many deaths this week. Can you please play Changes? Thank you, brother. I can, Brenda. Play Changes, and I will in just a bit. I'm assuming you're referring to the Ozzy version. Brother. Doc will join us at about 8:15 to talk racing. We'll get to bad news, happy music as well. Daily check-ins. You can get in touch with us by visiting the website, rockmornings.com. You can also download the 95.7 The Rock app or the 92.9 The X app. You can send in voicemails. You can send in images and videos as well through the app. It makes it nice and easy. Back in the day, back in my day, at least, brother, we would just go to WebMD, right? You would self-diagnose. Oh, why is my ear sliding off my face? I don't know. I'll go to WebMD. It's cheaper than going to the doctor. Now people apparently are using things like AI and ChatGPT to manage aspects of their health and learn more about what kind of potential diseases and situations they're going through. New survey asking people about how they're using the new AI stuff. 35% of people have asked AI health questions. 63% of people, 63, think that AI is trustworthy, which is more trustworthy than social media. Only 43% of people think that social media is trustworthy when it comes to health questions. 41% of people trust health influencers, but less trustworthy than doctors. 93% of people still believe in their doctor, that they are telling the truth, that they're trustworthy, which is good. And then there's this. 24% of the people in this survey have actually asked AI to fact-check information that they have received from social media friends and their own doctors and health professionals. So you go to the doctor, you don't quite feel like you're getting the right information, so you go to AI and say, hey, AI, hey, ChatGPT, hey, Mr. Computer Program, what do you think about this? And then you believe them? Fortunately, most people are using AI more like they use Google for the latest health and wellness trends and tips on diets and exercise, not to self-diagnose serious issues, like when you get blood shooting out of your nose or your ear or your eyes or wherever the hell your blood shoots out from. Nobody makes me bleed my own blood, brother. But yeah, apparently people are using AI to fact-check their doctors. I'm not saying that every doctor's right, but I have a little more faith in the guy who went to school for like 20 years than some computer program. A little bit more faith. Just a tiny bit. Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene, brother. Ogre's upset, said, you got me all excited about a chili dog, brother. Sorry, Ogre, you can still eat a chili dog today. I'm just saying that National Chili Dog Day isn't until next Thursday, brother. So I apologize. I jumped the gun. I don't know what you want me to say, other than I'm sorry. It happens. I got excited. Who wouldn't? Delicious chili dog. A little bit of mustard on top of that chili. Then you put some cheese on top. I don't know about you, but this is what I like to do. And this is probably sacrilegious, and I'm going to get a lot of crap for it. But here's what I like to do. First of all, I like a New England-style bun because it's got a flat bottom. A lot of hot dog buns are rounded on the bottom, and they tend to roll when you get them on the plate. The New England style, however, is flat on the bottom. So it stands up. So get one of those, open it up, squirt a little ketchup in the bottom, use it as sort of like a caulking, you know, when you're caulking a window. And then I take my onions and I drizzle them there, my sliced onions and the ketchup on the bottom of the bun. Then the glizzy goes in, right, the hot dog. Then I douse the top with the chili. Try to do a thicker chili, right? You get those runny chilies and it just gets everywhere. And then on top of that, a squirt of mustard down the length of the dog. Then you sprinkle the cheese on top and bam, you got yourself a nice chili dog. That's how I do it, brother. Not quite sure how you do it, but that's how I do my chili dogs. Definitely onions. The ketchup really isn't there for flavor. It's more, like I said, the glue, the caulking that holds the onions there on the bottom. I mean, it adds a little something to the flavor, obviously. It's ketchup. But National Chili Dog Day, not till next Thursday. My apologies to everyone who was excited about eating a chili dog today. Again, you can still eat one It's just you won't be celebrating National Chili Dog Day.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
8:15-ish on Fridays during the NASCAR season. We are joined on the phone by the one and only, the mid-pack legend, Mr. Technicality, Car 54, Billy Doc Niles, a.k.a. Captain Retirement, a.k.a. hashtag Mr. Fister, a.k.a. hashtag this guy.
Happy July.
Happy 4th of July. Hashtag this guy.
I'm kind of anal.
That's what all the guys at the campground say. Hashtag this guy.
He's got it locked on the rock. He's listening to the doc.
I'm sure Shorty is locked on the rock and listening to the doc. Hashtag this guy.
You're getting a thrill by listening to Bill.
If Jean was here, she would say, yes, I am getting a thrill by listening to Bill. Hashtag this guy.
He gets to stay on the box.
That's the only place you want to stay. Hashtag this guy.
He's going to have to come from the back.
That's the only place to come from is the back. Hashtag this guy.
Going to be a big one for them.
That's what she said. Hashtag this guy.
He could be coming from your backyard.
Coming from all the backs. Hashtag this guy.
A lot of beating and banging.
Sounds like a good weekend in the camper at Doc's place. Hashtag this guy.
Nothing says you can't slip one in without saying anything.
Oh, Stinky Pete. Hashtag this guy.
First day with the new tongue.
Yeah. You gotta slow down there. Hashtag this guy.
God damn, I'm going too fast.
Again, gotta slow down there, guy. Hashtag this guy.
He sees her. He doesn't have time to turn away from her. Blasts her in the rear end.
All-timer. All-timer, brother. Hashtag this guy.
Whoa, what am I touching here?
Whoa, what are you touching here, Doc? What do you got your hands on?
Well, let me tell you, big bad bacon boy Brian, if you want to know what the doctor is touching, you and all the little doctors out there are going to have to set up your race cars, suck on your chili dogs from the pit shack, and say your prayers that chili dog doesn't create a porta potty moment if you want to hear what the doctor is touching, brother.
Oh, listen to you giving me a Hulk Hogan-esque, what am I touching? Very nice. You know, Hogan actually, I don't know how many times he did it, but I know in 06 he was at the Dover 400 and he gave the Gentlemen Start Your Engines.
Gentlemen, start your engines, brothers.
There he is. Gentlemen, start your engines, brother. He may have been the master of ceremonies at a couple other races, but back in 06 at Dover, he was there to deliver the directions to turn your engines on.
Yeah, that's you see WWE and back in the 90s, WCW did this too, where they would send wrestlers out to races. Kyle Petty was even sponsored by the NWO for a season. So it's not uncommon to see wrestlers at races and give the commander ride around in the pace chart, pace vehicle, or even throw the green flag. So that's how mainstream Hogan had made wrestling. They're just pretty much pop culture icons now. So it's pretty cool. You know, it's sad to see him go, and I'm going to be sitting in front of my TV tonight watching SmackDown, seeing what they have for a tribute for him. Yeah,
interested to see what they do on the WWE programming tonight, and obviously on Monday night for Monday Night Raw on Netflix. We'll be looking to see that. But racing is in our area. We were talking about it yesterday. Red Cedar Speedway, because of the fair, they've got they had some events last night, including drags, and then they got more racing this weekend at Red Cedar Speedway. We're going to get to that in a bit. Or are we going to talk NASCAR first?
Well, if you want to start local, we could start local here. Red Cedar Speedway, unfortunately, got rained out last night. They just couldn't. There was just not enough time to get the track prepared. So tonight is again, it's the second night of Fair Night Racing, night number 2. Late models, modified Midwest mods, super stocks, and the Red Cedar Hornets are going to be joined tonight by the USRA traveling late models and the Vintage Series. Gates open at 5 o'clock, practice at 6, first green flag at 7 o'clock. You know, it kind of sucks they got rained out last night. That's like their 8th rain out since the end of April. So they have just not had a good time trying to get some races into Red Cedar Speedway, but the weather has been cooperating a lot lately, and hopefully we can finish the season strong. Tomorrow night at La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway, late model sportsman, Hornets, Street Stocks, High School Racing Association, and the Cone Race Novelty Event. Plus, the first 250 adults through the gate receive a Wisconsin lottery scratcher, so maybe you'll come out $500 richer if you're going to be that lucky. Gates at 5:15, qualifying at 5:30. First green flag at 7 o'clock. Some news for NASCAR. As Brian reported yesterday, NASCAR will be at the Naval Base Coronado just outside of San Diego next June, celebrating Father's Day and the Navy's 250th birthday. Now, I did some digging here. The contract is only for 1 year. However, NASCAR has said they hope to either return to the naval base in 2027 or possibly take it to other naval bases, like a traveling race to other naval bases or even other military bases, for that matter, in the future. So we'll see what happens there. So obviously that means, yeah.
Have you seen anything in regards to like a map? Because like when I think of a Navy base, and look, it's obviously on a much bigger scale, but my mind goes right to Fort McCoy and Sparta, right? And we've been on those grounds. We've seen the Army Fort McCoy MWR shows in the past, and they have like a legitimate like small kind of town there inside of the grounds itself. And is that what they're going to do? They're going to be racing around where like the barracks and stuff are, or what do we got?
I would imagine some soldiers are going to be able to sit on their barracks and watch cars go by.
Dude, that's so badass.
I haven't seen a map of it yet. There's a promotional video out now with Logano and a few other drivers, and they are looking at a map in that video. That's the only one I've seen of it so far. So,
dude, you know what I hope?
Go look at.
I hope they line, like, obviously they're going to have the Jersey barriers and, like, the safety barriers and all that. They're going to build a track, but I hope on the outside of that or something, they've got, like, tanks and jet fighters and stuff all lined up outside. That'd be so friggin' cool to watch.
How'd you like to be the driver that piles into a tank in an accident?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So, like I said, they're hoping to possibly bring it back to San Diego or other military bases in the future. They'll be in discussions with that. We talked about it last Friday while we were at Rockfest. Chicago is taking at least a 1-year hiatus. And like we said, so they're going to start leaking out bits and pieces of next year's schedule. So obviously this is the first one that we know of other than, the Daytona and the pre-racing at the Madhouse. So we'll see what happens here. Maybe Chicagoland does pop up next year. Not sure what's going to happen there. Also, in an interview with Jimmy Johnson this week, he said he would like to run more races next year if they can secure a third charter. He definitely wants to run Coronado because that's, he grew up just 15 miles away from Coronado in El Cajon. They also talked about the possibility of maybe putting Daniel Suarez in a third car. But once again, that depends on the third charter. And if they can't get the third charter, there's no reason to secure Daniel Suarez's services. So we'll see where that story goes. They are back at Indy this weekend, the Brickyard 400. It's a 2.5-mile super speedway quad oval, 9-degree bankings on all four corners. Last year, Kyle Larson won this race when they brought it back after a 4-year hiatus running on the Indy road course. Kevin Harvick has the qualifying record on the big track, set in 2014 at 188.8 miles an hour. Fantasy experts say like Hamlin, Larson, and Blaney when I filled mine out last night. Guys are running really well right now. Byron, Elliott, Reddick, and Gibbs. Can't deny them. VegasInsider.com via the BetMGM app brings us the odds this week. Hamlin at plus 450, Larson at 500, Blaney at 625. Elliott and Reddick at 900, Byron at 1,000, Bell at 1,100. Also, I want to mention there's real quick. This Sunday, and I cannot believe this is happening because I don't look this old. Happy 40th birthday to my oldest son Travis this Sunday.
Jesus Christ.
Kid, we'll definitely catch up here this weekend and have a couple of adult pops and. Before I do my taglines here, I can't thank you guys from 95.7 and 92.9 enough for allowing Lori and I to hang out with you and have so much fun last weekend at Rockfest. It was a blast. Can't wait to do it again next year.
Well, thank you for all the bloodies. I appreciate it. Your bloodies really rescued me in the morning. It went a long way to making the day better.
Well, she did something with the bloodies that I don't normally do. I just get the cheap vodka. She pulled the good vodka out for you guys. So That's because she loves you. She loves you. I just love your wife. Wherever you're at in the country, take your family out and support a great local short track. Doc's Race Report is brought to you by our friends at County Materials on Empire Street in Holman. That is this week's Race Report.
Doc, let's not forget who is doing the Gentlemen Start Your Engines this week at Indianapolis.
Yes. Cookie Monster. It's going to be awesome.
That's right. Cookie Monster's going to be there. I'll talk to you next week. All right, Doc?
Have a good weekend, folks.
Doc's Racing Report each and every Friday at about 8:15. And, yes, Cookie Monster will be doing the Gentlemen Start Your Engines at the Brickyard this weekend. Should be pretty interesting. Got a text. I got a couple of texts, actually. Not quite sure who this is from. Cody. Looks like Cody. Cody said, Doc's intro is legendary. Cracks me up every time, brother.
He sees her. He doesn't have time to turn away from her. Blasts her in the rear end.
Oh, man. I hear you clucking, big chicken. Brother. Thanks, Cody. Appreciate it. Bad news heavy music is coming up next. Don't go anywhere, brother.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. More from Brian and Gene is coming up.
You're about to enter a beautiful, exciting, wonderful new world.
A cockroach living in your nostril.
Now that's just nasty.
Add in some haven't pooped for 30 days.
Poop is raining from the ceilings. Poop.
And sprinkle in some hashtag Florida Man for flavor.
Florida Man. Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man. Florida Man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Let's rock.
Got a couple of naked guy stories, brother, to get to here. We'll start with hashtag Florida Man, who took a boat on a naked joyride, brother. A man accused of going on a naked joyride on a stolen boat. Oh, this is in New York, not Florida. Sorry, my bad. I got my naked dudes messed up. Different naked dude. This guy's in New York, accused of going on a naked joyride on a stolen boat in the Hudson River over the weekend. Escaped from the New York Presbyterian Hotel where he was undergoing a psychiatric evaluation. Slipped out of his handcuffs while the cops were watching him fall asleep. Apparently, they can't stay awake in New York. It's too boring. The cops, they need their naps. So they fell asleep. This guy slipped out of his cuffs, and then he was putting on like a doctor's jacket along with a mask and snuck out of the hospital. 36-year-old Stephen Blassetti, coming off a wild weekend. Authorities say that Stephen stole a boat, then took a naked joyride down the Hudson River last Saturday.
You ever seen a grown man naked?
They allege that he was on something at the time, possibly meth. Cops ended up catching up with Stephen. They arrested him, took him to the hospital for a psychiatric evaluation.
You're going to need a bigger boat.
He didn't need a bigger boat. He just stole whatever was available. But early Wednesday morning, cops who were guarding him at the hospital apparently fell asleep. Maybe they were at the end of a 24-hour shift. I don't know. Stephen got the keys to his handcuffs, grabbed a white lab coat and some blue pants to disguise himself as a doctor so he could slip out of the hospital unnoticed. And it worked. He was seen on surveillance video leaving the hospital. People are asking the public for help with any information they can to find this guy. He was charged with grand larceny, criminal possession of stolen property, and reckless endangerment. So it sounds like he got really high, stole a boat, went on a naked joyride, got arrested, ended up in the hospital, sobered up, and realized, I got to get the hell out of here.
Quit playing with your dinghy.
Yeah. This guy. Hell of a weekend for Steven, brother. Here's Florida Man. Hashtag Florida Man. Now we're back. I got the right story for the right guy. Hashtag Florida Man and his hashtag Florida Mom find themselves behind bars accused of orchestrating an arcade heist. This was reported at King's World Arcade on the 18th. 22-year-old Jose Baez Suarez entered the arcade, held the cashier at gunpoint, then fled the scene with the cash from the arcade. Surveillance footage caught him jumping into a RAV4 after fleeing. Investigators able to get the license plate number off the getaway vehicle. And guess who was driving? That's right, hashtag Florida Mom.
It's kind of scary. Like, I would be scared working at an arcade. Slot machines, just like going to a casino. So we come in here and put money in the slot machines, and we try to win big, put $20 in, and sometimes I can turn it into $100 or $500.
Yeah, they're calling this an arcade. This is a casino. This is not an arcade. They've got legitimate slot machines in this place. I don't know why they call it an arcade. I don't know what the lingo barrier there is, but Tuesday of this week, deputies locating the vehicle, arresting the driver, 43-year-old Yadelia Yideyla, Yadelia Suarez Cedeno, and her son for robbery. Deputies say they also recovered clothing and a black BB gun that resembled the handgun used in the robbery. So this dude, Jose Baez Suarez, using his mom as his getaway driver. Hashtag Florida Man, hashtag Florida Mom. Brother. Here we go. Naked guy. This is the naked guy story. Another one. Second one of the day. Here we go. Bad news, happy music. Brother. Another naked guy. This guy in Oklahoma. Arrested for indecent exposure and public intox in connection with this story. Metro family coming face-to-face with a naked stranger inside their home on Monday night. You come home one night after you have a couple of steaks and some baked potatoes, and you find a big naked stranger. This guy apparently very large. The frightening encounter happening in Oklahoma City at about 6 p.m. The bizarre break-in started inside the family's home. Once they confronted the naked man, he left out of their back door, skipped to the pond, and then jumped in. Apparently they got a pond in their backyard. Is it like a koi pond, or is it like a pond? Is it their pond, or is it just pond like that they've got in the area? Police say he was in there for about an hour before they were able to get him out. Him waiting around very much like a hippopotamus. It was very strange, said the homeowner. The guy's name is Blake Overstreet. He said this incident was unlike anything he's ever seen before. I was ready to see my son and my mom coming home from martial arts class. I thought that was them knocking on the front door. By the time I opened the front door to let them in, the back door was being opened by a big, fat, naked, crazy guy. Said the man was over 6'2" and over 400 pounds. That is a big, fat, crazy-looking naked guy.
I was ready to receive my son and my mom coming home from martial arts class. By the time I opened the front door, the back door was being opened by the big, fat, naked, crazy guy. Anytime a big, gigantic, naked man comes into your house unwanted, the de-escalation is, I guess you could say, pretty quick. Then I saw one of the strangest things I've ever seen is following somebody out of your own house into a lake that you're not supposed to be swimming in, full of snakes. Stay aware that every place in 2025 is, you got some crazy.
Kudos to this homeowner. He pulled his gun right away and told the dude to get the hell out of his house. Big, huge, naked guy. And he did. He went out the back door, which apparently leads to a neighborhood pond. Overstreet, the guy who owns the house, said, I saw one of the strangest things I've ever seen, following somebody out of your own house into a lake that you're not supposed to be swimming in, full of snakes and snapping turtles. They watched him jump into the pond and stay there for an hour until the police finally got this guy out. Yeah. Officers did take the man into custody. They say he was under some sort of influence. You think? Big, fat, naked guy from Oklahoma City breaking into people's houses and then jumping into ponds and swimming around like a hippopotamus. Oh, I want a hippopotamus for Christmas, brother. Bad news, happy music on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Couple more. Don't go anywhere. This one is crazy. Japanese authorities are on high alert after up to 16,000 plastic toy guns used as a prize in a claw machine across the country were deemed able to fire live ammunition.
Good. Bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
And when you get a look at these things, you're going to be like, there's no way. But yes, way. There is a way. 16,000 plastic toy guns used as prizes in claw machines all across Japan, apparently deemed able to fire live ammunition. The police agency there, the NPA, the National Police Agency, issuing a warning that thousands of illegal firearms were being offered as prizes in these claw machines, adding that authorities were scrambling to recall them. The real gimmick mini revolver, imported into Japan from China as a prize in the crane games that you see, you know, when you go to the bowling alley. But although the brightly colored plastic toy seems harmless, its technical specifications suggest that it was capable of being used as an actual firearm.
This is the AK-47 assault rifle, the preferred weapon of your enemy. And it makes a distinctive sound when fired at you, so remember it.
The toy comes with 8 plastic bullets that can be used to ping various objects or even prank people. But the NPA found the gun could also potentially be used to fire live ammunition.
Ever fired your gun up in the air and gone, ah?
No, I have not ever fired my gun up in the air and gone, ah.
This is crazy. They released a list of 16 so-called toy guns that it deemed capable of firing real bullets and potentially causing fatal injuries. All of them were Chinese-made and feature hammers made either of metal or hard enough plastic placed in just the right position, feature a wide enough barrel to accommodate small caliber bullets.
Guns. Lots of guns.
Possession of such guns may violate the Sword and Firearms Control Law, and the agency is warning people to report them to their nearest police station. The kid's over there fishing in the claw game for the handgun, gets it out. All of a sudden, real bullets are in that bad boy. Next thing you know, you got a real problem on your hands.
I have a gun in my room. You give me 5 seconds, I'll get it. I'll come back down here. Boom! I'll blow their brains out.
Scott, you just don't get it, do you? You don't.
A man wearing a full Chuck E. Cheese costume led out of a #Florida restaurant in handcuffs by police who arrested him on felony charges. This guy in the costume, in the Chuck E. Cheese, working for a living, around a bunch of kids, and getting arrested. As several children looked on, Jermel Jones, arrested by police inside of the Tallahassee Chuck E. Cheese, where a kid can be a kid. Do they still use that tagline? Is that still the Chuck E. Cheese tagline?
Chuck E. Cheese, Chuck E. Cheese. When you're hungry for fun, it's Chuck E. Cheese.
Picture of the cop pushing this guy up against the door and putting the cuffs on him while still in the costume. Apparently they took the head off the costume before they stuffed him into the back of the police car. A woman told police that her child support Visa debit card had recently been stolen by a Chuck E. Cheese employee and had used the card for purchases at smoke shops, a Circle K, some supermarkets, and a Whataburger. The woman said she regularly visits the Chuck E. Cheese, and the last time that her card was in her possession was at her child's June 28th birthday party. And so apparently this guy swiped the card and used it to buy stuff at smoke shops, Circle K, supermarkets, and a Whataburger. And now he's busted by the cops. And the picture, by the way, of this dude in his Chuck E. Cheese costume as he's getting arrested is funny as hell. The look on the cop's face, too, is she's like, yeah, this is what I do for a living. I arrest mascots in Chuck E. Cheese costumes. There's a cat in New Zealand, and they have nicknamed the cat Leonardo da Vinci, because Leonardo da Vinci apparently goes around and steals people's underwear.
What have you got? Dude, exactly where do you think you're going with that? Where did you even get it? That's not yours, dude.
That's not yours, dude. That's not yours, brother. A cat in New Zealand, his real name is Leo, has been now given the nickname Leonardo da Vinci after he was shown to be a literal cat burglar with a desire to steal people's underwear. The owner of the cat, Leonardo da Vinci, said that Leo and a 14-month-old cat has brought home about 150 stolen items over the last couple of months. She says he brings home a lot of things, doesn't do much with them. Once they are inside, he just dumps them on the floors and goes about his business. His favorite item to steal includes underwear and socks, but he's not really picky. Apparently, an expensive piece of jewelry with the tag still on it, some stuffed toys, lots of underpants and socks, gardening gloves, activewear, hats, sports bras, shorts. Everything, really, is what Helen, the owner of Leonardo da Vinci, says that he brings home.
Cat in the wall, eh?
Not sure if he got in the wall, but he got in there somehow.
I bet it flattened itself out, went right through a seam in your wall.
Might have done that, Charlie. Might have done that. But this cat, Leonardo da Vinci, is stealing people's underpants in New Zealand. So be on the lookout for that.
I'll get you another cat. I got followed here by like 10 cats. Yeah, they're starting to follow me these days.
Last but not least, bad news with happy music, brother. A Chinese company says it has developed the world's first humanoid robot that is capable of running on its own and swapping its own batteries out when needed.
It can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with. It doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear. And it absolutely will not stop. Ever. Until you are dead.
Yeah, that's what we need running around. China unveiling the world's first robot that runs on its own and swaps batteries all by itself. Robotex firm UB Tech, headquartered in China, says its humanoid robot can autonomously complete battery replacements in under just 3 minutes without shutting down, allowing it to operate continuously with minimal human intervention.
It becomes self-aware at 2:14 a.m. Eastern Time
August 29th. In a panic, they tried to pull the plug.
Yeah. How did that work out for us? That's great. That's what you really want to hear today, right? Is that a humanoid robot is now able to replace its own damn battery? Brother. There's a video showing the robot walking over to a charging station, removing the battery from its back, inserting the battery into a charging dock, and installing a fresh one. Media reports suggest that the robot monitors its power levels and swaps batteries when needed. Ugh. Sure we want that? That's what we're doing? That's what we need right now? Come on, man. Bad news with happy music, brother. We'll get to our check-ins next. After Disturbed.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com. Email.
I tried emailing you.
Text. So many ways to check in with us. Check. We rely on you guys for traffic updates, requests, and all sorts of other stuff.
Check this out.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene, brother.
I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man.
Yeah.
I am a real American. Fight for what's right. Fight for your life.
One last time for the people in the back. Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan, 71 years young, dying of a heart attack apparently yesterday. Reminiscing, spending time talking about his life. Not always good. Certainly a lot of downs, but also a lot of ups. Brother. Nikki was very happy to hear some Limp Bizkit much earlier this morning. Said it was very much needed, that song, to start my day. Thank you, Nikki. Got a text from someone who said, "Don't stop, brother." I realized early this morning that might get a little bit annoying. Brother. Jim said he was the face of wrestling for years. Been a rough week for my childhood. Yeah. Malcolm-Jamal Warner. Ozzy, of course. And now Hulk Hogan, all dying this week. Brother. Brandon says, "Can we leave my childhood characters alone, please? Come on." Ogre was very upset about the mistake I made earlier, thinking that today was National Chili Dog Day. He says, "You got me all excited about a chili dog, brother." And I said, "Hey, look, it may not be National Chili Dog Day today. It's actually next Thursday. But that doesn't stop you from eating a chili dog today. You can have one any day of the week, all the days of the week, right? Don't need to just wait till National Chili Dog Day." Brenda wanted to hear Changes. She said, "Too many deaths this week," and he plays Changes. Thank you, brother. And I did that. Some Ozzy. You're welcome. Michael said, "Hey, brother. Checking in. Lots has happened since I returned home from the road. New employer currently building a solar field just southeast of La Crosse. Keep rocking, brother." Thanks, Mike. Appreciate that. Alex, I think it was, Cody texted in and said, "Doc's intro is legendary. Cracks me up every time, brother." And I said, "Thanks, brother." Also got a text from someone who said, "Are you the MC for the end of the Thunder Ride at the farm as well, or just at Rod's to start?" I will only be at Rod's Ride on Power Sports tomorrow morning, bright and early, for the kickoff to the 23rd annual Chad Erickson Memorial Thunder Ride. I will not be at Schwartle Farms. I apologize. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't go and have fun. Maybe I'll see you at the beginning. Got a text from Alex. Said, "Love Doc, what a guy. My 81-year-old grandpa, who I go to the Indy 500 with, is going to Indy for the Brickyard. I told him to keep an eye out for Cookie Monster, brother." Cheryl said, "Have a good weekend, brother." Thanks, Cheryl. She also said that Hogan was in La Crosse wrestling a few times, if I remember correctly. We always sat in the front along the alley they came out through, tried touching his arm as he went by, and was elbowed in the nose by security walking with him. Shorty texting in from Florida says, "Hashtag Florida man, hashtag Florida mom." Like I said before, nothing surprises me down here in Florida, nor should it, brother. And last but not least, we did talk racing with Doc, but he also texted in and he said, did he swim that lake with both hands holding his ding-a-ling? Chuck Berry reference. I got the reference. Thank you, though. Appreciate it, brother. Have a great weekend. I'll probably see some of you here and there. I'm going to be out and about quite a bit this weekend. Lots going on. Lots of stuff happening. But have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday.